Good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And Mrs. Roboto is Lauren. Welcome. This is our beginner bodyweight and kettlebell workout. We're going to invite you to explore your strength and check in with your skills. And if you're feeling great with this practice, we invite you to join us at our Intenso practice led by Lauren later next week or the week after. But let's just get to that later. First, let's start with our breath. Hand, belly, hand, chest. We're taking our 4-second breath in to the belly. Make room, expand like a balloon, inhale fully. Then exhale, pulling the belly back towards that spine. Repeat one more time, 4-second breath in. Make room and learn where that breath can or cannot go, and exhale. Repeat the same effort in the chest. The belly's drawn in, the chest will expand like that balloon now for 4 seconds, and then exhale. Again, breathe in. Does your balloon feel 360 degrees around, or does it elevate like a hot air balloon? Exhale. Breathe into the belly one more time. Nice and full. Then let's hold for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly over the course of 4 seconds as well, and hold empty for an additional 4. Now replicate that effort in the chest. Breath in. Hold full for 4 seconds. Maybe feel that heartbeat. Exhale, 4 seconds. Hold, empty, 4 seconds. One last time for today, a 4-second belly breath in. Hold full for 4 as we enjoy this box breath exercise. Exhale, also for 4, and holding empty for 4. Last effort in the chest, the 4-second breath in. 360 around that rib cage. Hold full. Exhale slow. Hold empty. And resume a nice breath cadence. I like mixing up my stances every once in a while, so for now, I'll get my narrow stance with my feet. At the head neck, we'll do our chin tuck in that we're looking level on the horizon, crown head high. At a rotation, I chose looking to my right. Then I'll nod my chin to the clavicle, maybe take a sniff of that armpit, and then pull to center. Reset the head neck on that horizon. Next, add the rotation to the other side. In this case, it's my left. And then a chin tuck down, scraping the clavicle, and resuming, looking at the horizon. Rotation again. This time, I'll look at Lauren, then up the wall towards the ceiling. Once my head neck is in center, I'll pull the crown high, reset on level. And last effort with the head neck, rotation to the other side. Look up that wall, into the extension of the neck, looking up, and then crown high, reset, looking level. Let's replicate that same action at the rib cage. Center, the hips forward, the head will move with our shoulders now as we turn that quarter turn. From here, we'll dip to the back corner and then circling around the front, like where we did with those clavicles, and then resume with that rib cage centered on hips and looking straight. Next, add the rotation. The side bend to my back left corner and then circle through the ribs, bringing to center, and then tall. Same effort on the rotation, same direction on the side bend, and this time we're extending the spine towards the back, pull through center, and last time, rotation, side bend, around the back, and pull to center. From here, we'll use our ankles, getting ourselves to the floor to check in on the ankles and the feet. First, it's those knees over toes. Extend the hips like a broad jump, and for now, rise and hold a balance. Slowly return the heels to the floor, then bend the knees. Then this time, can we find that demi-point raise or that chair squat on toes? Then heels down, push the hips through, and again, straight leg balance for 4. Reset with control. Knees over toes, then find those heels, and toes, and then perhaps get low. Could we stand on those tips of feet, up to the tall, reset to the ground, and the last time we'll end up on the floor. Knees over toes with flat feet. Then the heels peel up off the ground as we descend low into that toe squat. Then hands to the floor, knees down next, and shake it out. One last thing for me, then we'll hand it over to Lauren. Fingertips, callus lines, full hands with those elbow pits forward, armpits down. From here, pull the hands to knees, drifting the shoulders over the wrists in extension, and then push the floor forward, let your hips drive back. Keep those elbows nice and straight. I know mine want to bend as well, so encourage the elbows to stay stiff with those triceps and feel the tension through the floor. Last effort here is we extend on the wrist with shoulders forward and then push back. Now push so much through the hands that the hips might come through. Let's just switch that grip now. So it's wrist extension, but the underhand version. It's fingertips first, callus lines next, and if this is too rich, you could do this on a wall or an elevated surface. From here, press the thumbs in the floor. Then press the index fingers in the floor. Then as we go across the hand, we'll push our middle fingers as next. Transition from the middle finger to those ring fingers. And then lastly, the pinky. Then either as a wave going index, middle, ring, pinky, pinky, ring, middle, index, thumbs. Don't forget those thumbs Lauren's saying under her breath here, I think. Press all 10 tips of the fingers into the ground. Slowly flex the elbows. Peel the palms away from the floor. And again, finish with a little flick. Check in on those wrists, check in on hips. And for that, it's Lauren's turn.
Nice. From that kneeling position, let's take a foot up in front into our kneeling lunge. Right away, we'll hike that hip up and then pull it down. Repeat again. Pull that hip up, pull it down so we're horizontal level. Now, let's gently tip the tailbone towards the ceiling and then tuck underneath. Repeat again. That anterior tilt to the hips and then that posterior tuck where we're squeezing our back cheek. Let's feel that nice stretch through that hip flexor as we drive down in our front leg and pull it in, extending that back hip. Feel that scissor tension for 3, 2, relax but stay. Heel toe that leg open to the side. Take that same arm as the side leg and put it across your chest. From there, your head is going to rotate over that side leg, and then your shoulders or upper body will follow. Head rotates back to center, shoulders rotate back to center. Repeat again. Head rotates, shoulders rotate. Now this time, chop on the hips like you would in your get-up, pushing your hips back. Hand finds the floor. Stack your shoulders on top of one another. Then, head looks to the hand on the floor. Shoulders rotate towards the floor, squaring up. Eyes or head looks up towards the ceiling. Shoulders follow. One last time. Head looks at the floor. Shoulders square up to the floor. Head looks up. Shoulders follow. Press the floor away, extending the hips. Head and shoulders rotate back to center. Heel toe that leg. And keeping those hips level, pull that leg underneath. And repeat on the other side. Other leg out front. First, we'll hike that hip and pull it down. And hike and pull down. And then our tucks of the hip. So gently tilting the hips forward and then tucking them under, squeezing the back cheek. Repeat again. If those hips were that bowl of water, we'd be spilling out the front and then we scooping back up. With that back hip extended, so that back cheek squeeze, we're pushing down on the floor and pulling in. We're not going anywhere. We're just feeling that scissor tension in the legs. Feel that, relax but stay. Now heel toe that foot open to the side. And take the same arm that's out to the side leg, cross your chest. From there, our rotations, our head goes first, our shoulders follow. Our head goes back to center, shoulders square back up. Head looks back over that leg, shoulders follow. This time we do our hip hinge, pushing the hips back, hand finds the floor, shoulders then stack on top. From there, head looks at the floor, shoulders square up. Keep trying to keep that side knee to the side. Eyes look up. Shoulders rotate open. One last time. Head looks at the floor. Shoulders rotate towards the floor, that rib cage. Last time to look up. Stack the shoulders on top of one another. Press the floor away. Head comes back to center. Shoulders rotate. Then heel toe. We'll zip that underneath. And from there, we'll get to our back where we'll do one get up each side, body weight. So come on down. Whether you have your arm across your chest or up pretending to hold your bell, pick one, don't do both. I'm gonna have my arm extended. Ian will have his across his chest. From this first position, let's set up in our get up. That same leg is bent, the other leg is out straight on the floor, and the other arm is anchored off of that belt line. Shoulder packed. Hip extension by driving the foot into the floor, extending the hip, and then pulling on your elbow. With that shoulder packed, press the floor away to your tall sit. We're pushing our foot and our hand in the floor to sweep the long leg underneath. We're in that position we just practiced. Press the floor away, hips extend. Rotating and squaring up to lunge. Push down and forward and down and back to stand tall. Get back down. That leg you can touch drops back. Slow descent, soft landing. Front foot opens. We rotate and then we hinge on the hip and restack those shoulders. From here, we sweep the back leg through. Find the elbow, keeping a proud shoulder, and press away from the elbow to find the floor with control. Once down, pull your imaginary bell down, place it on the ground, turn around, and let's do the same thing. I guess I didn't need to turn
around and get back in the frame there, Lauren.
It was an imaginary bell, but I still turned around. All right, firing range position, either across your chest or up. Leg bend, pushing into the floor, hip extend, pull to that elbow. From there, find your hand, keeping that shoulder packed. Push into the floor through those 2 points, sweeping the knee underneath. Hand leaves the floor, rotate, front foot moves, both legs help you up. That leg you can touch drops back. Keep that nice extended spine and slow descent. Front foot opens, rotation, hinge on the hips. Hand finds the floor. Stack your shoulders before you sweep to the elbow. Keep that proud shoulder press away to your backside. 2 hands or imaginary, pull that bell down and over. Let's flip over, do a push-up up, and then we'll get into some holds and squats from our top position. So from that push-up, either from your knees or your toes, tuck your hips, squeeze your butt. Hips and chest leave the floor at the same time. Toes tuck, tilting that tailbone nice and long towards the ceiling. As you press your hands back, let's load up that hinge and then press through to tall. Nice. For
Awesome.
3 sets here, we'll work between some heavy holds and some versions of our squats. For that, we both need a kettlebell.
We need our bells, dumbbells, kettlebells, or heavy objects of your choice at home could work just fine. We use our grip holds to build tension. Take your rings off, or at least if you're me, have a nice firm grip with the bell. We'll start with our suitcase carry, and for that, the handle is parallel in regards to the feet. Lauren's cued our hinge stance a couple times where you press those hips back, tailbone long, grab with one arm. Are the shoulders square? Check. Do you feel the preload? Check. From here, core brace. You might step to the side and grip the floor with the feet. Squeeze the butt by pressing the feet away from center. Brace the core like you could take that punch, and breathe. We'll hold it here for 5 more seconds, aiming to hold 20-second holds for today's practice. Then open your stance. Return to the floor. Are you square? And then barehanded up. Shake to reset. Same thing other side. We set up the hinge. Single hand on and square shoulders to lock into the load. Preload, pull, assemble as you wish. And again, avoiding the load taking you to its side. Find center, activate the core, use the feet to press out from center, and for 5 more seconds, hold that tension, build awareness with the bell, adjust your stance, hinge with 1 or 2 hands, and come up barehanded. Can we do that again? Or just save it?
We'll save it.
Save it.
We're going to do some squats here.
Great.
So we're going to start from narrow and slowly work today to some wider squats. First, our narrow squats that we warmed up a little bit earlier with our feet in parallel. Let's press our knees towards over our toes and then stand up tall by extending our hips forward. We're going to add on a little bit. Our knees are going to press towards our toes. Now we're going to hang out here and try to push our hips forward so that we create a nice long line. You can see that in Ian from his shoulders, his hips, and his knees. Make sure you still have that core brace and your glutes squeezed. Now sit those hips back and then press to tall. Let's repeat. Knees go over toes. Hips extend forward, squeezing the glutes, bracing the core. Then hips will sit back and we'll press through to tall. One more addition. Knees over toes. Hips extend. Now once we're there, could we find a balance towards those tiptoes and hold that position for 3, 2, heels connect first, then hips sit back, then press to tall. Nice. Shake it out. We'll hold again and we'll come back to some squats.
Progressing those carries into the rack. We'll cheat clean up into the body and the rack position is here. Feel free to revisit the low carry if that's for you, or join us as we go towards overhead. For that, the parallel handle with the feet again, single hand on the bell. Then grip with the other to support, pack shoulders, preload, take a breath in, and zip up to the rack. You could change your feet, they could stay the same. We could also march on the spot for a challenge. But build grip strength and build connection to your kettlebell. And as Lauren's gently playing with, find center. Share that load. 3 more seconds, 2 hands on, return, and up barehanded. Shakes in between, adjust your stance as you need, hinge back again, other side, same effort. My left hand grips. My right shoulder lowers to re-grip and secure the load. Then preload, zip to the rack, and hold for time. Pinkies crushing. Biceps flexing on the elbow, but support the shoulder from those scapulas and the back musculature. Don't forget with the feet, squeeze your bum cheeks, and for 3 more seconds, 2 hands on, and own the dismount. And it's squat time.
Squat time. This time we'll step into a more regular squat. So that might be your feet slightly wider than your hips and slightly turned out. First, let's feel that pull together. So with straight legs, imagining you're rippling the floor underneath. Now keep pulling so that we descend into our squat. Your safe low. Chest is extended or nice strong line, nice long spine. Now push down and away to stand up tall. Let's repeat 4 more times. Pull. Feel those adductors as you lower yourself into your squat. And then push down and away to stand up tall. As we continue here, that spine is long. Our tailbone has that slight tilt to the back so we're not rounding in our low back. To tall. You'll notice the difference in our squats versus our hinges that our knees work towards over our toes. This is allowed. Press down and away. Last time those feet are gripping, we feel that pull down and then to tall and shake it out. We have 1 more hold here.
Go back to the low. Stay in that rack or join us as you press the load overhead.
Or goblet.
Or the goblet. Goblet hold. Goblet hold, says Lauren. So we'll goblet hold instead.
I wrote in the white color.
So that will be 2 hands holding it here, or maybe we have some squats coming up with that later. Hinge. It's the 2 hands on and feel the load in this preloading ways. Pack shoulders, pull the bell up to that goblet hold, packing shoulders back. Extra efforts here could be looking through the window. If we choose to look through the window, it's promoting that rib to hip connection and avoid extra load or sensations on the low back. We'll hold for 5 more seconds. Could you take a peek through that window 1 more time? Back to the chest, return to the floor, and up, barehanded. Feeling heavier than usual or lighter?
No, I thought it said another different number, but it doesn't, thank goodness. Shake it out.
Good.
1 more goblet, and then we'll squat.
1 more
2
time.
in a row.
2 in a row.
Says times 2.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's hard to read today.
Got to read that menu here. Here we go. Hinge it again. Chop hips, zip up, and hold for time. The shoulder blades are pulling together and the elbows are in tight to the body. The ribs are connected to the hips. The feet push out from center. And maybe take a look through the window. That is so much harder, as you might be able to sense from my breath. Ooh, to the chest and return. Never let that effort take away from your ability to take a safe, strong breath in. Squats again, Lauren.
All right, we'll widen our stance a little bit, and this will involve a ballistic weight transfer into a balance. So we're slightly wider than we were the last time. We'll pull ourselves down just as we did. This time you're gonna push down and away and end up on a single leg. Hold. Right now, think about pushing your hips forward, keeping that stationary leg ramrod straight. Then point the other leg, toe ball heel, land center. Press, other side. Hold, trying to keep that knee to the side, stacking the hips. Point, land center. Repeat a couple more times. As you do this, feel that foot gripping, that core brace, and that stack every time to find your balance. Hold, 3, 2, toe ball, heel, center. One more time each side. Knee is to the side, hips are to the level, even as you extend that leg and land. One last time here, making sure when you do land, it's soft like a cat. And then up to tall. Shaking that out.
Nice.
Whew.
Tell me what's next there, Lauren. I don't want to get it wrong.
Well, I was thinking about doing one get up on each side to finish up here today.
Awesome.
Nice light workout. So let's start from standing, work down, and come back up. Take an arm, either overhead or across your chest. This has the imaginary kettlebell in it. Other leg you can touch, drops back. Let's take a slow descent here for 4, 3, 2, soft landing. That front foot opens. We do our rotation with our head and our rib cage. Hinge on the hips, hand finds the floor. Sweep that back leg through. Keep that shoulder proud as you find your elbow. And then slowly press away from your elbow to your back. Same side, working yourself back up, hip extension, pull on elbow. From there, find that hand. We push into the floor and bridge and sweep the long leg underneath. Press the floor away. Front foot moves. Push down and forward, down and back, up to tall. Shake it. Oh, I dropped my bell somewhere along the way. I was pushing the floor. Same thing on the other side. Cross that arm, step that leg back, 5 seconds, 5. Back hip pushing forward, front hips in, soft landing. Front foot opens, rotation, then hinge on the hips. Remember to stack those shoulders, sweep, find the elbow, keeping that proud, and press towards your back. From there, hip drive, pull to the elbow. Find your hand. Push into the floor to lift the hips. Sweeping underneath, press the floor away, hips extend, front foot moves, drive down and away to stand up tall. Nice. Shaking it out. Great.
That concludes today's bodyweight and bell exercise practice. Sometimes half hour, sometimes 45 minutes, but today, hopefully something just nice and light to get you acquainted with your kettlebell, your body, and we look forward to joining you in your practice the next time. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren.
Take care, stay strong, and train soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.